extra beat in a faraway place.
I think Ubuntu means a lot of different things to different people. I think just considering where we are from, it's more of a lived experience.
I think Ubuntu is an important connecting word that puts people, communities, cultures together.
We are because I am. Direction of ancestors got me sticking to the plan. This liberation ain't the story that you used to. So may the circle be unbroken, that Ubuntu.
So essentially, Ubuntu is about cooking a meal. We are cooking a meal because food is one of the best ways to bring people together. I didn't necessarily want to tell a story. I wanted to show people that were just living their lives, and we're just there to witness it. And it's facilitating so many different things. I think out of all the projects that we've done at Black Native, this one came closest to the vision. The way it was written, the way it was executed. The team did a very good job of interpreting every aspect of what is expected of them to help bring it together.
We proud people spreading love around the clock. On one hand, that same feeling leads to hugging on the block. On the other, there's protection of your mother and your pops, cause your village is your world.
Apocalyptic landscape, farming, fight sequence, singing in the open field. How do you tie those elements into one story that flows into a narrative?
I didn't want to think too hard about what the song was saying because I understood what the song was making me feel, and I just needed the visuals to pair with that, and then everything just pretty much aligns. It just comes together.
I've storyboarded, but I haven't storyboarded for anything this big before. I also tried to flex my animation skills a little bit, and from the director's prerogative, it was, that's unnecessary, this can be cut, you're bloating. The flair that the specific animators brought into it, the movement, the performances, they took what I did and they boosted it by 1,000.
The idea behind New Oakland is quite simple. I believe in clean slates, and I think a clean slate is one of the best things you could ever give somebody. And that's where we start, a clean slate for this new community of people.
Building worlds and building the things that are supposed to be just glossed over. If your background is bad, if your world looks ugly, if your concepts, then people notice. But when people don't notice it and the beauty of the scene plays out, that's when you know you did your job correctly. There was an incident where I had to paint tomatoes 4 times over, but that was fun and part of the process.
At this point in my life, the motto is reevaluate. Dropping bad habits this year. I got too much at stake. 25 now, more on my plate. I've been gaining weight.
Directing is a scam. You art direct, you do character design, you do layout posing, you pretty much touch on everything. It is quite a task to manage and keep the vision consistent for a period of 10 months. There's certain things you need to keep in check, even for yourself mentally. You cannot forget your ideas or your cues for what's supposed to be happening.
There's a lot that comes with it. Sure, you can see animation, but the pre-production and the post-production is a complete other skill on its own, and it's a craft, and it kind of makes or breaks the animation in a sense.
The animation is too difficult for any director to not understand what it is they're trying to achieve. We all want to create all these amazing things, but it doesn't really amount to much if it isn't practical.
The director put together a really strong treatment booklet. And in the booklet, one of the reference images had this picture of a mountain. But there was just a rendering style on the mountain that I really liked.
Everything around, about, and the story in the world is centered around this crown and revolves around it, introducing us to the world, where we are, on the Chapman farmhouse, the process of growing the food.
Cyzo was very specific about his vision and what he wanted. Color palettes, the style, the direction, the Chapman's farmhouse in like its full glory. And the way that tree came out and the grass around it with the fence around it, I think that just hit the nail on the head. And everything else sort of, and style-wise, flowed out of that.
There's nothing better than having a hearty, homey meal, and and just seeing that environment of just a beautiful home where food is actually where everything comes together. The world itself facilitates the character's character arc.
I really like the day and night scene of Nicole's house. I initially designed the concept of the house in a very different style, and when the layout artist came back, they gave me a different style, but I think that all worked in the vision. Amari is meditating in the temple, and we need to show a passage of time. I had to make a massive canvas with the full sequence of dusk till dawn, the mechanics of it. Technically, that was the most challenging. When you're working with character work, everyone has a voice. They become their own people in your head. And to see them interact and moving through environments that you imagined, in worlds that you imagined as you imagined it, to see them actually become people, they make the locations actually feel real as well.
You need to study the character designs, man. You need to read up on the characters, you need to study them. Instantly when I saw Speed, I was like, this guy, he's wearing Tim's too. I was like, this is a hard man right here. This is a man's man.
Yeah, when I see you, I see me. Character kingly, roam America freely.
This is a formal community that needs to come across in the way they look. It needs to come across in the character designs, the things that we see and how they conduct themselves.
So he's not the fastest guy, but you know he can throw hands. And if he touches you, it might be game over for you. So you need to look at things like that. And he's clearly a very disciplined character by the way he carries himself, you know. Also with Amari, when I read up on him and I looked at him, I was like, this guy, he's all about vibes. He's all about how good he feels. If he don't look good, he's not going.
Nicole is pretty much our chef in the project. Apart from being a whole developed character on her own in her own right with her own lore.
There's this scene where one of the characters are rapping, and it's like it was one of the few scenes where I've never worked on something like that before, and I thought it was like very eye-catching, and it's in the end it synced up quite nice.
To see characters become actual people and have actual personalities. Just in subtle movements, in secondary motion, in animation, in facial expressions.
I was really impressed by how everything came together. Usually when you're doing cleanup, you just see the bare minimum type of animation. You don't really see the finished product. So animation cleanup is basically the process after someone does a rough animation, and you just come in just to put it on model, make it look clean, make it ready for compositing.
The character design and the final models and the cleanup comes into play. They just seem like it was always meant to be.
This is something I've always wanted to do. And depending on if I've seen the characters or not, I usually look for fight scenes that would resonate with what the characters are. There was so much more I wanted to add, because at some point, Amari, I wanted to make him breakdance in the fight scene, but I was like, it's gonna be too detailed.
So it starts with Khalil finding a seed, which is the catalyst for the events that follow. We watch him take this back home to meet his dad, and we watch their relationship unfold.
This is way deeper than I thought. When I saw that there was a fight scene within all of that, and the fact that there's farming and there's these characters that live in this world, they're going through things,
You see them go through the process of growing their crops and then in turn revitalizing their home. That now carries on to the next character and the sequence where they share what they've done with the community. And you begin to see their hard work pull the community together.
To have content that has more hopeful undertones, that shows people going through personal growth, to show communities coming together and people actually, sharing, especially in the context of a music video.
Live in a world where dreams come true, where wishes come blowing the wind out of the blue. Want someone to help me with my pain all the way through.
Kingmakers, bro, is dope, man. What they're doing is very important. To have an initiative that's like, yo, this is for boys, and we want to create an environment where boys can strive. That sounds amazing.
They lead us with our creative freedom, and that is quite priceless in our industry.
As a creative, you don't always get to say that I got to work on something cool. And you also don't get to say that I got to work on something meaningful.
I hope people are entertained when they see this, because if people can watch this and be entertained, it means that we've done our jobs.
When you go back to ancient Japanese culture, like with the samurai, the knights, they have something called honor. As Africans, we have Ubuntu.
I am because we are because I am because we are because I am. This liberation brought to you by the Cool Crew. So may the circle be unbroken, that unbroken.